Now here's an old snowblower I just picked up today for parts. The guy gave up on it. It's got a good motor, a good electric starter, and some other parts I can use like the front auger system, tires, and so forth. It's a Mastercraft from Canadian Tire here, but it's made by MTD. Now the reason why I'm making this video is to show you a common problem with these snowblowers. Right at the edges where the transmission box meets the auger shell, you can see a large crack down here. And when you go to use the blower and you bring the handles down like this, that expands the crack down there. Take a look at that. And if you take a look on the other side, there's a big chunk missing there, and it's cracked a bit down there as well. So that whole transmission box would need to be replaced. You can try to weld it, but oftentimes the weld may break right where it's welded around that crack. The problem that these cracks were causing is that the auger belts would come right off the pulleys here, and oftentimes you put new belts, you run it for a minute or two, the belts come off, they get damaged, and you got to go buy a new set of belts. Well, the guy had just put a brand new set of belts in there. They don't look new anymore. So if the belts keep coming off your blower pulleys, make sure that it's not cracked down there. Make sure that the idler pulley here is aligned here with the engine pulley. That's rarely the case though. Most often this is all cracked like that, or the auger shell is rotted right through and it's causing the same effect when you're using your blower. So as soon as you put pressure on the handlebars, like I mentioned earlier, it expands the distance between the pulleys and the auger shell and throws the auger belts out of alignment with the pulleys that are on the auger shell down here, so they come off. Now I also thought it was important for me to make this video because a lot of people go shopping for a used snowblower and they may not realize that it's important to check down there to make sure it's not cracked, especially if you're buying an MTD model snowblower. Even some Sears snowblowers were made by MTD. No matter what used snowblower you go to look at to buy, always make sure that the metal's not cracked between the transmission box and the auger shell. Because at that point, if you can't fix it yourself, just the parts are expensive. And after that, if you have to pay somebody to fix it, it almost becomes not worth it. And at the end of the day, you still have an old snowblower. And on this specific type of snowblower, the auger shell as well cracks in different spots, as you can see down here. It's not too big right now, but it's going to grow. Also, where the engine mounts on this one, it's missing a few bolts, probably from the vibration. And I'm not sure if it was cracked before or if missing a bolt caused the crack, but when I lift the motor here, look at the crack underneath. It's even cracked on top there. So the whole motor was vibrating like that. It's pretty loose. Now even if I tighten up the engine to the transmission box, the belts would still come off. MTDs are still good snowblowers. I own two myself. But when you go look at a used snowblower to buy, always check those critical areas. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.